Hi, I'm Andy from Open Road Scotland. Welcome. You're watching this video because either you've hired a van from us or you're thinking of hiring a van from us. This video today is going to help you understand the features of your motorhome. I'm going to explain everything clearly and it's going to make it easy for you when you're travelling and hopefully help you have a good holiday. Your van has a 240 volt hookup system, which means if you're staying at a campsite, you'll use a mains cable which we'll supply to hook the van up to the mains electricity supply. And you do that by lifting the white flap here and inserting the cable straight onto the side of the van. The other end of the cable will go into the supply point at the campsite. Also on the driver's side of the van, we have what we call your grey waste tap. Now when you're running water in the motorhome through the sink or the shower or the kitchen sink, that's what we call grey water, and that wastewater goes into your grey waste tank. Campsites have a dedicated disposal area for this grey water, and you will simply drive the van over a channel drain and then release the valve. If you're not staying at a campsite, it's okay to put this water down a standard mains drain like you would find on the roadside. Okay, so to do that, the pipe's located here. There's a valve on the side and we simply turn that into the horizontal position aligned with the pipe, and the grey waste will flow out. Once the grey water has all emptied out, you simply close back into the vertical position to close the pipe again. Okay, so this is unlikely to be the favourite part of your motorhome experience, but it is a necessary one, and it's emptying the chemical cassette toilet. Now your toilet is located behind the wall of the van here, and when you use the toilet, the waste drops down into a removable cassette which is situated behind the door here. Ideally, you want to empty that cassette every day into a campsite disposal area, a dedicated chemical toilet disposal area, certainly every second day. And to do that, you're going to open up the door here, simply lift the blue flap here and slide out the toilet cassette. Unscrew the cap here and then pour out the waste into the chemical disposal area. Afterwards, make sure you rinse out the cassette thoroughly and that it's clean and empty. Okay, once you've emptied and rinsed the cassette out, you're going to add in some toilet chemicals which are supplied with the van. You'll add in about 75 millilitres of this chemical, and this is just a chemical agent to help up the natural decomposition process of the waste in the cassette and to give it a fragrance smell. So 75 millilitres into the cap and then pour it back into the cassette and screw the cap back on, and then we'll replace the cassette back into the van. Okay, to fill the water tank on the Lowlander 696, we use the water filling point on the driver's side of the van. We'll lift the white flap up here, twist off the blue water cap, and then insert our hose pipe into the water filling point. Okay, you'll know when the water tank is full because the water will overflow from here. Okay, we have our gas locker door here, which we're going to open to access our gas bottle when we want to switch it on and off. Just while we're doing that, I'm going to show you the locks on this van because they're all the same on the exterior door locks. Basically, to open them, you turn the lock 180 degrees and it will then pop out. Then turn it another 180 degrees to allow the door to open. When you want to close, do the same thing in reverse. Turn it 180 degrees, turn the lock 180 degrees and then push in. Your gas bottle is located in here in the gas locker. This is your propane gas bottle and it's feeding into your cooking appliances and your water and gas heating. The gas should always be switched off when you're driving as a safety precaution. When you want to switch it on for use, either for cooking or for heating and for hot water, just turn the brass valve on the top of the bottle fully anti-clockwise. If you run out of gas during your trip, you'll need to swap over your empty cylinder for a full cylinder from any Colour gas stockists. Most campsites sell Colour gas, and lots of petrol stations and convenience stores also sell it. It's a very simple job to remove the bottle. You're just going to remove the pigtail connector by turning the connection here clockwise. The bottle then simply lifts out and you swap the empty bottle for a full bottle. On the Lowlander 696 we've got a very large storage area which is accessible from both sides of the vehicle. So again, we're just going to open our locks up. The storage doors can be secured on the side of the van using the little latch. On the Lowlander 696, the fuel cap is located on the passenger side, just at the passenger door, and you'll open the passenger door and pull the flap back to access the diesel cap. Very important not to mix up the diesel cap with the water filling point on the driver's side of the van. That can have disastrous consequences for the operation of the van. Okay, a common area of damage on motorhomes is always at the rear end. There's a pre-fitted reverse camera here on the high end of the vehicle which will assist you when you're reversing. However, if you've got passengers with you, I always suggest one of them is out helping the driver to reverse. It's very easy to misjudge and damage plastic bumper panels and what have you. So if you have someone with you, just use them, be extra careful. Another area to watch out for is the rear overhang of the vehicle. You have from the back axle to the end of the van a gap of about 1.6 metres. It's much longer than a normal car. So when you're cornering, it's important to give yourself plenty of room to get your back end round, and you don't so you're basically not cutting any corners. So be careful with this as well. So some words of advice for driving on some of our more narrow Scottish roads. You're driving a longer vehicle than probably what you're used to, and a slightly wider vehicle than what you'll be used to as well. There's long arm wing mirrors on these vehicles, so on some of the narrow roads it might be prudent just to pull particularly your driver's side wing mirror in, just to prevent a collision with any oncoming vehicles with mirrors clipping each other. On the Lowlander 696, the forward central locking key operates for the cab only. To access the Habitation side of the motorhome, you use a separate Habitation key for opening and locking. This is the rear island bed on the Lowlander 696. Good sized double bed, accessible from either side via a step. Surrounding the bed you've got some storage lockers, some lighting, and a panoramic skylight on the roof there just for any stargazing, and a couple of large picture windows at both sides of the van also. On this model we have a good sized shower cubicle, separate toilet and shower cubicle. When using the shower, obviously we're going to use the glass screen here, which unclips and pulls over, and that will stop any water from coming into the living area of the van. Also useful when you finish the shower, if you can wipe down any moisture that's accumulated on the wooden panel side. On the Lowlander 696 you have a 3-ring gas hob here working off the propane gas bottle. We'll supply you with a lighter or some matches. Quite easy to light the hob. Most important thing to say about the cooker is it's only to be used for cooking and not as a space heater. You have a separate heater for the van. For operating the gas oven and grill, you have a little dial here. You push in and turn to the left, ignites the oven function. Back to the middle, switches off. And if you push in and turn to the right, that ignites the grill function. Okay, the control panel on the Lowlander 696 is a touch panel. First thing to do is to switch the panel on using the power button in the bottom right hand corner. That switches the panel on. Moving up through the buttons, B1 is the vehicle battery to allow you to check the voltage in your vehicle battery. In this case we can see it's 12.3 volts. B2 is your leisure battery, which is the motorhome battery for your lights and your 12 volt system. Again, we can check the voltage in there. In this case it's 12.6 volts. The top one on the right hand row of buttons is the water tank level. Firstly, you have your fresh water tank, which we can see is 100% full. And if we hit that button again, we can see our grey water tank level, which is empty at the moment. At the top on the left hand side we have the water pump, so whenever we want running water in the sink, the shower or the toilet, we'll switch on the water pump. You can hear the pump priming up. Here we have an exterior light. The third button is for the interior 12 volt lighting system. Okay, then individual lights can all be switched on and off once we have selected the 12 volt lighting system here. And then the last button on the control panel will give us our interior temperature, and it's a bit of a chilly 9 degrees today. Okay, our heating and hot water system in the Lowlander 696 can either work from gas or from electricity. You'll work it from gas if you're wild camping, and you'll work it from electricity if you have a 240 volt hookup at a campsite. So first of all, we're going to switch the control panel for the heating and hot water on. The panel will illuminate. You can then use the little circular dial to toggle through the 4 icons on the top line. The first thing to do is to select your power source, either gas or electricity. So we go to the third icon here and we press the button. We then use the dial to either select gas or EL2. The other settings can be ignored. EL2 is electricity for the campsite. Gas is from the gas bottle when you're wild camping. To select either of those options, press the button. Once you've selected the power source, you can then choose to put your heating on, or put your hot water on, or have both on together at the same time. For the hot water, we come to the second icon here that shows the thermostat in the water. We press the button and we choose hot, boost or eco. Let's go for hot. Select the button here and the hot water icon will appear in the top line along with the bottle to show you that you're running from gas. If we want to have heating on, we're going to come to the first icon in the line here, and then we're going to turn the dial and select the internal cab temperature that we want, in this case 24 degrees, and then press the button. To adjust the fan speed for the heating, for distributing the warm air through the camper van, we select the fan, which is the fourth icon, and we can have that on economy setting or high setting. The warm air will then be distributed throughout the cab. To switch the whole system off, you can either go into each of the individual settings for hot water, turn to off. For heating, turn all the way down to off. Everything will disappear from the top line. The other alternative to switch everything off at the same time is to simply hold the black button in for 2 seconds until the screen switches off. Okay, the Lowlander 696 has a nice sized second double bed and it's on a ceiling mounted system. It's an electric drop down bed. So when you want to use that at night time, you're just going to bring the bed down, First thing to do is just clear the top cushions from the living space, and then use the button on the side of the bed to lower the whole mechanism down to its lowest point. We provide you with a set of ladders for accessing the bed from this position here. Now, as it's a ceiling mounted bed, it's on a runner system. It's not ideal for a lot of movement, so ideally kids playtime and even adult playtime should be confined to the back bed and not this one. To extend your living space in the Lowlander 696, we can spin both the driver's seat and the passenger seat into the living space. There's a little lever just at the base of the chair which will allow you to do this. Now, one thing which you might find slightly different in the driving side of things on the Lowlander 696 is the parking brake or the handbrake. It's a little bit of a different system on this vehicle. So when you want to engage the parking brake, it's a normal process. Pull it up, you'll feel resistance, and bring it up until it locks in. Now though, you'll see the brake has no resistance, which is different from a standard car. So when you want to release the parking brake, you have to pull it all the way up until you feel it meeting resistance. Press the button and then pull up and release to allow the parking brake to disengage. You'll be able to see from your dashboard when the parking light has disengaged.